You know, it's a wonderful thing to be able to come and talk about the man I'm going to talk about right now, because he doesn't know this, but he was part of making my first show a lot more together than it was. He did a piece called Acting Shakespeare that was just magnificent because people like me grew up being told that they could never do Shakespeare. But after watching him, I thought, yes, I can. And I can do it well. So in his honor, next year I'm going to do a piece. I'm not going to tell you what. You just have to come and see it. But I want to read you something that's in these wonderful programs that you get when you come to things like this, because you know, you sort of take them home and you look through them to see who was there and you know, see if you got what you needed in it. But there's a really marvelous first paragraph that I want to read to you. Early in 1988, when Britain's Parliament banned the subsidy of any group suspected of promoting homosexuality, a voice of opposition rose from a most unexpected quarter. Ian McKellan, commander of the British Empire and foremost classical actor of his generation, spoke out publicly against the infamous Clause 28, declaring himself homosexual in the process. Stirred by this courageous action and by the legislation's implicit threat to human freedom and to the arts, other actors joined Ian in protest, among them Sir Laurence Olivier, Maggie Smith, John Gielgud, Sir John Gielgud, Glenda Jackson, and Vanessa Redgrave. I read this to you not only because Ian is incredibly courageous, but I read it to you because we could almost open any newspaper and see ourselves in the same position. We as actors and humans and people must take the clue from these wonderful people. We can allow none of this to happen in the United States, and it is in praise of Ian McKellan for having, pardon me, the balls to get up in face of the unknown and say, listen, watch it. I'm here to present him with this year's Buddy Award. A magnificent man. Please get to your feet and applaud him.
Thank you, AIDS Project Los Angeles, for this award, which I deserve no more than anybody else in the entertainment industry in this city or in London who has realized that AIDS is the challenge, and we take it up as we can and as circumstances demand. I congratulate APLA for tonight's event, and I know how hard it is to persuade anyone to part with money. I know there are a lot of lovely people in Los Angeles, but I didn't know there were so many that they could all be in the same theatre at the same time. Congratulations. To have this award brings me back very briefly on my way to Tokyo to stay in California, the state that welcomed other distinguished British guys, Christopher Isherwood, David Hockney, Barry Cross. Because it takes me to see my two best friends in all the world, Terry Anderson and his lover Armistead Maupin. They were the two men who, on my last journey to California, persuaded me by reason and by reason alone that to come out and declare myself to the press and to the media and to anyone who cared to listen that I was gay would be a good thing to do. Not just for myself. Not just for myself, because it made me a happy human being. I had no idea the millstone that was on these old shoulders. God. I'm a happy man. I make other people happy. You wouldn't believe the postback of people who need us, who have a little bit of fame, to get up and say we're gay, for all those thousands and millions of people who feel themselves to be alone. It's making contact. And that's what the challenge of AIDS is about too. And you know, it didn't even do my career any harm. I was the Actor of the Year in London last year. I got to play John Profumo in the movie Scandal, and all that anybody knows about John Profumo is that he's a raging heterosexual. It's lovely out of the closet, and if you want any advice, Terry and Armistead and I will be down there in the foyer after the show. You come and talk to us about it. This is meant to be 2 minutes. Well, now my 2 minutes is just going to start right now, because last time I was in LA, I was in here working. I've worked here quite a lot, but never in movies. That's just a hint. But I've been going around the theatres. This is the first time I've landed on this stage, and so I'm bringing you a present in exchange for the one which I shall take home with me to London. I want to do a bit of Shakespeare for you. Shakespeare, when he was a young man, wrote a play with a group of friends. It was called Sir Thomas More. Sir Thomas More later turned up on screen in Robert Boat's screenplay of A Man for All Seasons, when the part was played by Paul Scofield, who won an Oscar for it. But this was an earlier play by Shakespeare. And the scene is set in London, where there is a riot going on, because the people of London are distressed by the strangers in their midst. The immigrants, the people who come from foreign lands and wear strange clothes and eat strange languages and eat strange food and take our jobs and fuck our wives, and they've got to go. In this day and age, perhaps, you think the strangers that intolerant people insist should leave our society or our home. Maybe these people are no longer just immigrants. Maybe they're lesbian, maybe they are gay, and maybe on tonight they are PWAs. Just listen to the words of Thomas More, who goes out into the streets of London to quell this riot with a humanity that I know we all share here today. Someone in the crowd shouts that the strangers should be removed, and Thomas More replies, "Grant them removed, and grant that this your noise hath chid down all the majesty of England." Imagine that you see the wretched strangers, their babies at their backs, with their poor luggage, plodding to the ports and coasts for transportation, and that you sit as kings in your desires. What have you got? I'll tell you, you have taught how insolence and strong hands should prevail, how order should be quelled, and by this pattern, not one of you should live an aged man. Would you be pleased to find a nation of such barbarous temper that breaking out in hideous violence would not afford you an abode on earth, spurn you like dogs, and like as if that God owned not, nor made not you, nor that the elements were not all appropriate to your comforts, but chartered unto them? What will you think to be thus used? This is the stranger's case, and this your mountainous inhumanity. Shakespeare agrees with you here tonight.